Hello, I'm Creature Guy, and welcome back to another review. And, well, today we're taking a look at none other than the one, the only, Showa Rodan. Oh, yes. So, as some of you may know, some of you may not know, that this is indeed one of my most favorite monsters of all time. Maybe next to Godzilla and Gamera, and that's it. This is pretty much my favorite monster. And of the Rodans, I gotta say, I like Fire Rodan an awful lot, but you just can't beat the original, you know? I mean, it's just, yeah. So let's take a look at this bad boy out. Alright, well, as you can see, I do not have the tag with him, but as you know, it would have looked something like that tag like this. Maybe, at some point, maybe the tag looked like this, the Destroy All Monsters tag. So let's take a look at the paint job. Okay. Well, this is the hard vinyl release, so it's released about 1980-something, 88 or so. And actually, one of Bandai's very first attempts at a monster other than Godzilla, and their very first ever Rodan. So it's very cool, very historical. So let's see. But as you can see, it's not going to be as good as the later ones we're used to, which, of course, you know, makes sense because it was one of the first ones. You know, give them a break, guys. But yeah, see gold painted onto here, gold on his toes and on his fingers. Then on the back, you got this strange color array. You got, I don't know what kind of color that is, like forest green, turquoise green, I don't know, algae green, I don't know. And then gold, little gold strip down here as well. Gold beak and black eyes, and that's basically all the paint there is on here. The rest of the guy is just all brown. Which, you know, Rodan's supposed to be brown, so that makes sense. But, you know, a little pet peeve with me, as you may know, is that I hate it when they just spray paint the paint on there, and it just looks like it's just on there. As you can see on here, on the toes, on the beak, stomach, claws. Back here, it's actually not too bad, but on other Rodans, I've seen the little paint stripe down here gets kind of crooked, and it just looks kind of cheap. So, yeah, it doesn't look too great on that one, but it looks pretty good, I gotta say. It really does. I mean, like I said, it was one of their first attempts ever at well, it was their first attempt at Rodan. It was one of their first attempts ever at another Godzilla monster, you know, other than Godzilla. So give them credit, because it is pretty good. Because, as you'll see, everything else is pretty cool on this guy, especially for the time. Now, let's take a look here at the detail as we zoom on in. Okay, so let's take a look first to the face, which is actually a pretty expression face, because you got his beak, got the eyes here, eyebrows, or, well, eyebrow notches or whatever, and then horns back here looking pretty good. Don't look too dull or anything, look pretty neat. The overall textured skin I really do like on this guy. It looks like the original Rodan kind of looked, that shiny sort of textured look to him. Then on the wings you got this, I never have figured out what this was on Rodan. I guess it's fur or something, but this stuff that kind of looks like drywall on him. And then down here you got these really nice looking, once again I'm not really sure what they are, scales or something that go all the way down here. Well, they look really cool. They look very good. Very well done. And then, you know, you got the feathers here, and this more fur-like texture on here. Same for the other wing. The claws, I'm not too impressed with, but as you can see, the paint's scuffed off this guy a little, so that may be contributing a bit to it. But the claws are okay. And the toes are alright as well. And he's got that ribbed sort of look to his feet, which are real signature of Rodan. And looks very neat. Looks pretty good, yeah. And on the tail, got sort of an arrow-shaped tail, and looks about right. On the back, got his famous hunchback look to him. Yeah. So overall, it's all real accurate and everything. I really do like it. So as far as detailing goes, I can't really see anything that should have been left to be desired. It looks pretty well done, especially for the time. And now, as for the articulation. Well, him being Rodan, I can't expect him to be too articulated because basically his whole deal is that he just flies and that's it. So that's basically what this guy does. He just kind of stands there like this. The wings kind of wiggle a little bit, but they don't really move. They're not articulated. No waist, no nothing. The head does wiggle a little bit, but like I said, just doesn't really articulate very much. So he basically just does that, but once again, that's basically all Rodan did on the ground when he was in the movies. He just kind of stood there and went, you know, wobbled. Oh no, Rodan's landing on the city! He's touched ground! What is he going to do? Oh, the humanity, all the destruction, ah! Yeah, that's basically all he does. But, you know, that's what Rodan does. Rodan does do, well, you know. Now, size comparison-wise, let's get him up here with his other Showa buddies. First off with King Caesar, or Caesar, or whatever. And there he is. Now, as you know, these guys never really were in the movie together, so I can't say if they're in accurate size, you know, accurate scale. But they look good together. I mean, you know, I guess. And then one real cool thing here, him with Anguirus. The two awesomest monsters in the world. Well, okay, two really cool ones anyway. But yeah, totally love this matchup here. And they look like they're in scale, but Anguirus just looks a bit big. I'm not sure if that's Rodan's fault, or if it's just Anguirus' fault, or if it's nobody's fault. I don't know. But, yeah, so there they are. There they are together. They look pretty good. They make a good pair. Gotta say, they make a good pair. So that's Rodan, everybody. What do I think? Well, I know I love Rodan, so I'm a bit biased on this, but it's actually pretty well done. As I said, you can't be too judgmental on these old figures because they're just, you know, not as well done as the new ones. And so the standard has been set quite a bit higher than it was back then. Back then, you were just used to your, I don't know, Bullmark toys. I don't know. I'm not really an expert on those kind of things. So if you guys out there can tell me what exactly came first, you know. But when Bandai came out, they were definitely better than most of the others that had ever been made so far. And for the prices that they were back then, it was a pretty good idea. It was a pretty good deal. And so this Rodan really was the best Rodan at the time. And it still is probably one of the cooler ones, because for one thing, it's Bandai's only Showa representation of Rodan. So, you know, you kind of, if you want this version of Rodan, you got to get this one, from Bandai anyway. I really am hoping that they redo it, though, because it could definitely stand to have some, you know, resculpting, you know, scaled down to 6 inches like maybe Jet Jaguar did. So I definitely would like to see that happen in the future, but as for now, this is your only Showa Rodan. So, do I recommend it? Yeah, definitely. This is Showa Rodan, guys. It's the one that showed up in, like, all of the movies, practically, and it's just, you know, a staple, a total staple. I mean, everyone knows Rodan, and everyone knows this Rodan for sure. So it's definitely, I definitely recommend it if you get a hand on them. Even if you get your hands on them. Even if you can't find them with the tag, it's still worth it because it's, you know, it's Rodan. So definitely, I say get it. What could you expect to pay for Rodan? That's where it gets a little tough because it being one of the oldest Bandai figures out there right now, you know, it's going to be expensive. So you might want to save up for that. But if you can get it, I definitely think that you should because it's Rodan and he's awesome. So, that's my opinion. What's yours? I'm Creature Hunt Guy, this is Rodan, and I'll see you guys later.